Hey there. If being in business feels a little bit like taking one step forward and two steps back sometimes, and you finally want to get your business in the direction that you dream about so that you can have a business that supports you, that gives you the life you want, then you are in the right place. I'm Suzi Daphnis. I'm the CEO of Her Business, and welcome to day 5 of Reach Week. We're so excited about Reach Retreat, which is happening in Hawaii in October, that all this week I've been giving you a behind the scenes tour of the foundational Reach process. This is the process that women who come to Reach use to generate new revenue streams, to turn their business in a totally different direction, to finally get clarity about where they want to be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And they create the plan for how they're going to get there. Today's part of the Reach Retreat, Reach is actually an acronym. We're up to part 5, and it is about hero. And I'm going to explain what that means, but you can see it right here on my over my shoulder. Today is about being the hero for your own dreams, but also I'm going to be giving you some strategies on how you can champion your ideas and how you can have others get right behind your vision as well, because that's an important part of us realizing our dreams. So I'm also going to remind you that today is the early bird cutoff date, which means if you are thinking about joining us in Hawaii, then you want to get your application is to get the current pricing. So this is the best pricing available at the moment, and it's available right up until midnight tonight. I'm going to give you a link right here, below me. Is that it? There we go. If you want to go ahead there, you don't have to go right now, but do get there before midnight Sydney time tonight and put your application in, because that secures your price. We'll set up a time to chat over the next week, and at a time that suits you and suits me as well. And we can go over your application and just see if this is a good idea for you. But it's always good to get some savings. So if you've been thinking about it, you definitely want to go ahead and lock those savings in today. Can't hear me. Oh, it was you. It does help to have the speakers on. I did do my sound checks beforehand because I wanted to make Let me know if you can see me. I think I just knocked myself out for a minute. Can you just drop me a post and just let me know that you can hear me and you can see me okay? I think I just clicked the wrong button and I just think I did it again. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm going again. All right. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Tell me, am I back? Oh my gosh. Back. All right. Here we are. Let's get on with this reach process. Goodness gracious me. What is happening? What is happening? I'm back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. So let me pop this back up on the screen so that you can see it. We are today talking about hero, as I said. But what I want to do is I just want to reflect back on the reach process, because every single part of this process is an important part of creating the life and the business that you want. And so let's just have a quick look at what we've been covering this week. And some of you I know have been with me all the while. I'm definitely here now. Great. So whether you want new income streams, whether you want more of your dream clients, whether you just want to be not so tired, or whether you just want to fall back in love with your business, this process is a crystallization of a process that I've used for almost 30 years now to create new businesses, new directions, to get back on board. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But it really allows you to get out of your comfort zone, to reach your potential, to reach other people, and also to really connect with yourself. And on Monday, we started this process. And I'm going to give everyone here a recap just to make sure you understand how they all fit together, because each piece builds. So the first part of the reach process is to actually reflect. This is where we actually get conscious of where we are right now. And when I ask this question, I often get answers like these. I have women say, and I don't know if you can see that on your screen, just make it a little bigger so you can see it. It says, I want to like my business again. I want to fall back in love with my business, because right now I'm just tired, I'm burnt out, and this isn't working for me. I want to be more streamlined and organized. I want to be all over the shop. I want to have clarity. I want to have a direction that I'm excited about. And also, I want growth without sacrificing everything else in my life. And all those are such important things for you as a business owner. And that's what this process is designed to do. And so on Monday, I shared this story. This is Estelle Cornell. And she said, every day my life gets better and better because she was able to reflect and actually get back her goals and her vision for her life. Because we get busy, right? We get busy. Life takes over, business takes over. There's so many demands, all grasping for our time. And she said, life gets better and better every day because I have clarity on my vision. And when we stop and reflect, that's where what we really want starts to come into view. When we start and say, where am I right now? How did I get here? We can then start to look forward. And this is Michelle French. She said, she'd been growing her business, I think, for over 8 years at the time when she came to the Reach Retreat. And she loved this reflect process because she said, it gave me a break. I could finally stop and think and say, okay, I'm really great at building this business with my partner, Amanda, but how are we going to build this now? What do the next 5-10 years look like? I think she's 50, her partner's in her late 40s. And so they're at a stage, like a lot of the women who come to Reach, where they're questioning, like, time is passing really quickly. How do I get more of what I want in my life? So that is the reflect process. Where am I right now? And once we know where we are, we can start to look into the future. We can start to create visions that pull us forward, that are compelling. And this is how you get your heart's desire. It's not goal setting. This is around really connecting with, what is it that I really want? How do I want to live my life? What do I want each day to look like? Knowing that every day we're making choices about how we spend our time, and you get to reset. You get to say, this is how I want to spend my time and my days, even if there are things pulling at your attention. The clearer you can be on what your heart's desire is, the more you can design your business around that. And I shared stories from Yvonne and Chantel and from Tasha, who were able to finally have a vision that not only felt doable, but very, very possible, and a vision that aligned with the personal vision, aligned with the business vision, and a vision that was bigger. So Tasha said, I haven't been able to think this big before, because she paused, she reflected, and then she started to use our own vision process. On Wednesday, we talked about actualize, and this is day 3 of the Reach Retreat. This is day 3. This is part 3 of the process. And actualize is not about taking action. It is about bringing things into being. So it's not just about doing. We're all really good at that. It's about actually doing the things that make the difference, that get you towards that vision. And I shared with you some of the things that stopped us from actualizing. And they included 3 things. Well, I shared 3 things. There's probably a few more, and this is a whole day training inside of the Reach Retreat, but I wanted to give you some things that you can work with. And so 3 of the ways that we sabotage our ability to actualize are to, 1, confuse being busy with actualizing, confusing being really busy doing with actually doing the things that really matter. It's also that we can be starting for a position of confusion. And so we're not actualizing because we're just doing all the things. We're not doing the things that really matter, that really move us towards those visions. And then the 3rd thing is that fear gets in the way. And all of us have fear, right? Every single day, some of us are challenged with it more than others. But whether it's the fear of success or the fear of failure, to bring to life the things that we really want, because we're fearful of charging more or changing our business model or stopping this part of our business and starting a different one, because we've always done it this way, of changing the name of that product or service, of cutting down the days and saying, you know what, this is what I want for my lifestyle, I'm going to make this work, of hiring that person, of joining that mastermind, of going to that retreat, of bringing on that mentor. Whatever those big leaps are that can stop us from being successful, it can be the fear that we're going to get it wrong, that we're going to make a mistake, and we've stopped trusting ourselves because maybe we've made a promise to ourselves before and we haven't kept it. And so all these things can get in the way of us actually actualizing. And I shared the story of Kathy Betty, who her vision was to have a beautiful property that she would move to. She has a beautiful business where she it's a play center for kids. So it's a daycare center, and you can also do kids' parties there. She's here in Sydney. And within 12 months of being at the Reach Retreat, she actualized what it was she wanted. Look at this beautiful property. And here's the thing. She, at the time, thought, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I want this property. It's this vision. I can see it in my mind's eye. I can see it in my heart. She ended up playing off the banks against each other to give her the money that was rightfully hers for her to have this vision. And that's because day 3, the actualized piece, that was the aha for Kathy. I was like, okay, it's all well and good to know where I want to go, but what are the steps along the way? And she created a plan unlike she'd ever created before to get that vision. Now, what did this represent? It didn't just represent a beautiful piece of land. Look at it, it's gorgeous. It represented who she would need to be and how she would need to show up and what the business would need to be doing for her to be able to enjoy time here on this property, because the business allowed her to do that. Okay, so every day she's moving closer and closer to what she calls her land of plenty. And that's some terminology that we use on day 2 of the Reach Retreat that we develop and really nurture as part of the Envision process, where you're really tapping into your intuition about what is it that I really want. And then part 4 of the Reach process, and we covered this yesterday in Reach Week, is connect. And we talked about connecting to our dreams, because we can say we want something, but this slide is just giving me grief today. But how do we actually stay connected? And by that, I mean that we have a relationship with our dreams. We don't just put it on a pin board and put it in front of us and hope to manifest it. We don't just use it as our cover on our background of our computer, but we actually feel connected to it. And connection is about communication, that we have a communication with this vision. We keep it top of mind. We guide ourselves towards that. Yesterday was also, and the connect part is about connecting to your ideas, those wisps of ideas that come to us, and really being connected to them and not letting those ideas lay dormant for too long, because someone else is going to pick up that idea and run with it. Or that idea is going to be an idea whose time has passed because we haven't taken action on it. Part of connect is also connecting with the right people and resources, because there's a saying, and I'll say it again later today, if you want to go fast, you can go alone, but if you want to go far, you want to go together. And that together is with the right peers, the right mentors, the right friends, the right people around you, the people that get what you do, the right sources of intelligence, the right sources of knowledge that you might need to finally get that $200,000 business that you've been wanting for, or that 7-figure business, or to step into that new way of doing business. We also talked yesterday about connecting to the way of being that is going to get you your results. We're going to dive into that little piece a little more today as we talk about heroing, because this is how you show up every day in your business, how you show up for your clients, how you're showing up in your family, how you're showing up for your own dreams. Are you sort of passive about it? Are you apologetic about it? Or are you right there in your power, in your full presence, asking for what you want and taking the steps and actions to get it? Very, very, very exciting. We also talked about what to disconnect from. And for some of us, it's disconnecting with dreams that are no longer relevant, or maybe there's someone else's dream. Maybe you started the business and the dream was different, letting that go. It's about disconnecting from ideas that no longer serve you about how much you can charge, or what sort of business you have, or what sort of income you can generate, or how many days a week, or how many hours a week you have to work, or who your ideal clients are. Excuse me. It's also about disconnecting from people that no longer serve you, whether it's suppliers or clients that you just don't want to work with anymore. It's about really being clear about, who am I going to have in this precious life of mine? Who is it important for me to be connected to, and who can I let go of? And finally, the ways of being that no longer serve us. So maybe you've taken on an identity, or you've taken on a behavior that no longer serves you. Yesterday was about, how do I disconnect from that? And actually the whole of day 4, it's such a powerful day at the Reach Retreat, is all about connection. Connecting, who do I want to connect with? Who and what do I need to connect with? And where do I need to disconnect? Because it no longer fuels me. It's draining me. It's robbing me of my joy. All right. So that brings us up to speed, and we are up to hero. And hero is probably my favorite part of the process, because why? It's day 5 of the Reach Retreat at this point. At this point, we have spent 4 beautiful days together, from morning to night, from starting by the water in the morning with journaling and juicing, to having breakfast together, to doing a morning session, to having lunch together, to doing the afternoon session, to doing all the different experiences, to making connections, to having, water cooler conversations that are really deep and meaningful. And so on day 5, we bring it all together. And this is one of the days that I present. So I'm there every day. I'm the host of the event, but there's mentors that present different parts of the reach process. But the hero is mine. The hero is mine. Here's why. Business is a personal development journey, and how you get results is by heroing the dreams that you have. It's by stepping into a way of being that heroes your dreams. And I'll talk more about that. So you can have all the other pieces of the process, but if you don't have this piece in place, then you won't reach where you want to reach and you won't break through to that next level of success. So, as we've done every day this week, we've got a little gift for you. It is a worksheet, and I'll give you a link to that later on. And it poses a question. This is one for you to reflect on. It's a question around how you're showing up and how you are heroing and how heroic you are being. So, the word hero is really interesting because we think of superheroes, but we don't think it's about hero as a word in our lives. But being heroic means having the characteristics of your heroes. If you think about the people that you really admire, what are the characteristics that you could borrow to help you step into those moments of decision, to help you step into those moments of being bolder, to help you step into those moments where you're questioning? Those resources are available to you. And so this resource will be available to you a little later on. I'll give you the link for that. So I want to give you some things that you can do to start to hero what you want to do in business. The very first thing is being with like-minded people. One of the ways we hero ourselves is by giving ourselves the opportunity to be around people who are reaching up and people who are reaching for their goals and people who are reaching for playing a bigger game and people who are reaching for a lifestyle that gives them time with their family or whatever the things are that we want. We want to surround ourselves with women and men, but I mostly, my recommendation here is around making sure you have peers that champion you and that are doing things that you want to be doing, that are showing up in ways that you want to show up, that have values that you value. As much as our team and our family is important to us, they may not get us at this level when we're talking about business. And the Reach Retreat is both a business program and it's a personal development program. And we very much lean into the you who is running the business. That's the you we want to have healthy and stable and hungry and passionate and really connected. Because when you are really in your own power, the business part is the easy part. It's what happens in here. It's the way we're feeling. It's the way we're showing up. That's what holds us back. Not the fact that we don't know how to do a marketing funnel. I'm very passionate about this. So surrounding yourself with the right people. So when I put this process together, I called this hero because this is really about championing yourself and having others that champion you. And that's why being part of the Her Business community is so important to so many of you. It's why the Reach Retreat is about finding women within that community, whether they're members or not, who want to come along and want to be a part of an elite group of women who are really championing themselves firstly, because we need to do that first, right? We can't be just about championing other people, but then also willing to champion each other's dreams because there's no competition. It's just about allowing each woman to be as powerful as she can be. I'm very passionate about this. Hero is also about, and I've said this earlier, about championing your dreams. This is about you being the biggest advocate for what you want, for what you envision, for the type of business that you want. This is about you putting on your superpower cape and finding a way to really trust yourself and back yourself and the decisions you make in order to move forward. This is about you, even in the points of discomfort, even in the points of unknowing, that you just keep stepping into your presence, your power, and what you really want. This takes most of us getting out of our comfort zone because it's easier to go after someone else's dreams. It's easier to say, that's not that important to me. I know I put that figure on the chart, but if I don't get it this year, maybe I'll get it next year. I know I put that thing I want to do on the calendar for this year, but if I haven't told anybody, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. And we go on disappointing ourselves over and over again. But what I'm asking you to do is to be a hero for your dreams. And what can happen, especially if we start to dream big, is the resistance comes up. And the resistance is that voice. It's the imposter syndrome. It's that feeling that says, don't get too big for your boots. And it can be really disabling. This idea of the resistance comes from the author Stephen Pressfield. He says, resistance is the dragon that guards the gold of our authentic self, our true voice, our artistic and personal destiny. He says that sometimes when we are here and we want to be here, the resistance comes in to protect us. It says, there, you're okay. You're fine right where you are. You don't have to make these leaps and hurdles. You don't have to try things a different way. And he says it's that part of us that knows what could be that keeps us stuck of where we are right now. It's that part of us that wants to write and paint and dance and live and be joyous, but keeps getting held back. And the resistance can show up in you saying no to yourself, you saying no to opportunities and invitations that come your way. It can show up by that feeling of, well, who am I to have this bigger dream? It can show up by saying, well, I don't want to be smarter or bigger or more famous or wealthier than the person next to me. These are ways that we keep ourselves small. These are ways that we just put a lid on our ability to be big. The other part of heroing, well, one is fighting the resistance and saying, resistance, I see you, but have a seat in the back because I'm driving this car. I'm determining what I'm doing with this life. And it takes bold action. Bold action is about committing to doing what it takes, doing the work, doing the strategic work, creating the business and life you love. That takes being heroic. And I believe that this hero step is particularly important for women business owners to take on, because many of us are so busy with work and family, whether that's children or aging parents, as in my case, or it could be clients or our team, that we are on the last place on the list. We fall right at the bottom of the priorities when it comes to getting input and support that we need. And this hero step is a real game changer, because so many things can be working wonderfully well in your business, but if you're feeling exhausted or resentful or confused or bored or uninspired or out of love with your business, that really makes an impact on your bottom line, on the money in the bank, on the impact that you're having on your clients, on the legacy that you're leaving. It impacts all those things, and you're the most important asset in your business. I'm going to say that again. You are the most important aspect in your business. And to keep your business growing, you need to keep growing. And you can do this by nurturing yourself on multiple levels, your mindset, your skill set, really taking care of yourself, surrounding yourself with the right people, like we've said. And that it might be peers. It could be people you're in a mastermind with. It could be people that you meet at the Reach Retreat. It could be women inside the Her Business Network. It could be mentors and experts that you believe in, that you can rely on. And every time I interview women who we've inducted into our Hall of Fame, we have over 200 women in our Hall of Fame, they share with me this proverb, which I mentioned earlier. And that is, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And that is around surrounding yourself with the right people. If you know you should be bringing on more team members and you're not, then you are not heroing your dream of having a bigger, more profitable, more sustainable business. There's a book called Onlyness. It's quite a few years old now, but it's a favorite of mine because the author, her name is Nilofer Merchant, she talks about the fact that we're not willing to reach and share our ideas because we don't have the right environments to share them in. And we feel that they'll fall flat or they'll be taken away. And sometimes we fear because they're not fully formed ideas. It's a gut feeling. It's a intuition. It's a premonition of what we could be doing. And so you want to find an environment where that sounding board to explore those ideas is there for you and to keep growing yourself so that your business can expand to the level that you can see. And it can only expand to the level that you've expanded as a person. That's what I found most definitely in my business in all these years. Every time I find myself stuck or I feel like there's a lid on my ability to achieve what I want, it comes back to working on me. It comes back to putting myself in situations and environments that take me out of my day-to-day, take me out of all the doingness, take me out of the racket that I've created for myself and puts me in a place where I can start working back on myself and working on my vision and working on my plan and knowing who and what I need to be connected to. One of the most practical things that you can do is to work on heroing. This is why day 5 of the Reach Retreat, this is how we bring it all together. We've done all the learnings and now we bring it together. And one of the things that the women create is what we call a reach map. And the map lays out their 2-year, 5-year, 10-year plan in a way that they've never done it before. And it heralds and heroes what it is that they really want. So earlier I asked women, what is when it comes to reaching your targets in your business, what are your biggest frustrations? And I wanted to share a couple of these answers with you. And this one here from Carmel said, it's my biggest challenge is employing people when the business is hardly making enough. For me, she said, but I really want time. So her big thing was time. I really want time so that I can focus more on growing the business. And Peter said, my biggest challenge is getting out of my comfort zone again and again and getting the support and the learning I need. This was before she came to the Reach Retreat. And this one here said, I need to organize myself and surround myself with like-minded women who encourage me and move me on. Jane Goodall, who you may have heard of, she's done a lot of work in the preservation of gorillas. Yeah, she's a beautiful older woman with silver hair, just has given so much to this planet. She said, it's what you do that makes a difference, and you have to decide the difference you want to make. So I'm going to ask you a question. What would your heroic self do right now if there were no limitations? Because I believe that anything is possible for you and the person that you can be. But I want to encourage you to think about this question, which is, would your heroic self do? And I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again, that success is not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. It's not about what you're doing, it's who you're being. When we tap into our inner knowledge and our dreams and wishes, we can really connect with the future that we want for ourselves. But we have to be being that person. We have to be being the person who can have those things. One of the things we talk a lot about at the Reach Retreat is our ability to have. Because you may say, I want it, but if at a soul level, you're not willing to have that level of success or that level of money or that level of fame or that level of connections or that level of communication or that level of vision, we work on that. And so we talk a lot about being. And right now you are where you are and you're fabulous in everything that you do. But where are you in relation to where you want to be? Are you displaying the characteristics of someone who has the things you want to have? Are you living your life in a way that the person that you want to be lives their life? Are you showing up in a way that the person you want to be shows up? Are you doing the things that the person that you want to be is doing? Are you communicating the way that the person that you want to be communicates? So there's who you're being and there's who I see. I truly see that you are much more than who you are being right now. I truly believe that you're not yet being your heroic self. But if you were being your heroic self and there were no limitations, what might you be doing? That's the exact exercise in your worksheet for today. So I want to invite you at this point. I mentioned earlier that the Reach Retreat is coming up in October. It's October 30 to the 3rd of November. And this is a place for you to truly be and to really connect with, how do I really be a hero for my own life, your own precious life? This is Amy Geach, and she says, I'm forever grateful. Now, she came to the retreat a busy mum and business owner, overwhelmed, unclear, feeling disconnected from all the things she loved when she started her business. She had 3 significant breakthroughs at the Reach Retreat. One of them was at a dinner. Someone else there said, your business is boring. The way you talk about your business, like there's no life in what you're doing. And she said it was a game-changing conversation. It was a fantastic insight for me, she said. She said, I was creating the business I thought I should have. And what she did was she reclaimed the business that she really wanted. She started to hero that business. She moved from Tasmania to regional New South Wales, where she lives now with her family. She closed down one business and opened up another. She rebranded the business. All these things that came out of this conversation of, you're not really living your authentic business. You're not living the business that you want. And now she's running multiple businesses and having a great time at it. So I want to invite you to join me at the Reach Retreat. As I mentioned, it's coming up in October. And this week I've been sharing some of the nuggets. But you can imagine, right, in what you've learned in just these small sessions, what it would be like to truly give yourself over to this wonderful, wonderful experience. And so I know that you might be thinking, well, Susie, I don't know if I have time. I don't know if I have the commitment for this. And here's the thing, many of us have to consult with someone if we're going to be sharing family money in investing in something like this. And I can tell you that your commitment to shine through is going to be what sells it to your spouse, if that's who, or your business partner, if you need to convince someone that this is a good investment for you. You know how to get the money if you need them to get the money. And I'm going to talk about the price and how you can make the best savings right now in a moment. But with anything we want, our conviction is what sells it. Our conviction is what gets us that deal with that supplier or that big client or that big contract. And so I want you to think about your own conviction. And some of you might say, I don't know if this is the right time or if this is the right program. If you're even curious, just go ahead and apply, because I'll tell you if it's not the right program. I said no to a number of people, not because there was anything wrong with them, but because it wasn't the right fit for them. And maybe there's something else we do that's a better fit. And if this is the right time, you know what? This year's going to come and go. I don't know that we're doing the Reach Retreat next year. We're working on our calendar. There's a lot of things that I want to do that may or may not include this. But finding a clear path to find time. The reason we don't have time is because we don't have that clear vision and the clear path to get there. So we're doing all the things. And so I hope that not just for today, but at any time you're at a fork in the road, that any fear around making a big decision, know that it's totally normal. It's a big decision because it symbolizes far more than the time and money. It symbolizes making a big shift and taking a new direction in your business. And so take a deep breath around this. This is something that you can take away for the rest of your life. Everything I've taught you here this week, I've done, hopefully you feel with generosity of saying, here's the steps that I know can help you create the business that you like, the money that you want, the impact that you want. So especially if you've ever made a commitment to yourself to do something and you've let yourself down before, and I know I've done this, get back on the horse. Get back on the horse and commit to yourself and what you want for your life and your business. This is what this hero step is all about. It's about committing to your life and your business. Even if you've made some bad decisions in the past, even if you feel, gosh, it's taking way longer to grow this business than I ever wanted. So often we question whether we should make a decision. And what it is, it's fear. It's that old fear popping up. And that fear is, will this be worth my investment? And here's what I can tell you. The mentors and I will each bring 100% of ourselves to the equation. We just need you in that partnership. You are in business to create a business and the life that you want. And often the only difference between your success and someone else's is their level of commitment to showing up, to taking on the way of being that brings that success, to do the work that brings that success. But it's not about doing the busy work. It's really about knowing the direction you're taking and doing the path of least resistance. That's what we're about creating at the Reach Retreat, the path of least resistance. So right now we're registering women into the Reach Retreat. We have a beautiful group of women coming already, and I'm happy to talk about who they are and what they do to you when we're in conversation once you apply. But here's what I can tell you for sure that you get, because people want to know, well, what am I actually getting? Well, here's what you're getting. And here's just some of what you're getting. You are getting a clear path. You are getting a resurgence of energy and excitement in your business. You are getting a plan. You are getting supported along the way. You are getting more money. Women come out and they are doing their best year ever again and again and again. And I can tell you countless stories about those women. In fact, if you go over to the reachretreat.com, you'll see stories of women. You'll see women who've bought that dream property just in 1 year's time, who are now geo-flexible and working from their property, from their second home. Women who are taking 10 weeks off and going to Europe because their daughter's having a baby and the business is still running. You're getting to that next vision. You're getting renewed focus. You're stepping things up. You're getting a plan. You're playing a bigger game. And like I said, you're realizing more of those financial dreams, which I know is so important, right? Because you're putting in an investment. You want to make sure that I'm going to get a return on this investment, and you absolutely can. This is a time for you to pause. In the morning, I'll meet you by the water and we'll sit and we'll talk and we'll journal. And you'll set your intention for that day with clarity and focus about, okay, this is what I want to get out of today. And you'll step into the classroom with incredible women business owners who are also there to grow and scale their business and to realize the new direction for their business. You'll get time, lots of time to connect. So it's not just all work, work, work. We do have breaks. We get a lot done. Remember, we're together for 5 days, all day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And there's celebrations. There's lots to celebrate as you reach new milestones right while you're there. Big breakthroughs, big ahas. And there's also, of course, cultural experiences. We are in a beautiful part of the world and we take advantage of that through the food and the experiences. And this is the fastest way I know. This reach process, embodied, lived, is the fastest way I know for you to have a major shift towards the business that you want. And as you can imagine, women who are coming along are obviously excited, like the women here. And here's what I want to explain before I explain the price. Have a think about what this is. This is a 5-day experience with 4 mentors, all of whom have grown multi-million-dollar businesses, all of whom are living a life that they love. It's in a beautiful resort in Hawaii. Your accommodation is covered. All your meals are covered. All your drinks are covered. All your snacks are covered. All your experiences are covered. So obviously this is not a budget event. And that's why it's not for everyone. But it is for women who are ready to make a big shift, who really want to get off the treadmill and want to make that big shift. Now, before I explain the price, I want to let you know that it's so important to me that you get the gold out of this retreat, that beyond the week with us, we give you a 4-month reach up program where the mentors and I are available to support you with any questions that you have as you implement the reach process. We also give you all our templates, and these are proprietary templates that are part of the reach process that you get to use again and again anytime you're ready for another shift. And we also include you in our alumni, in the women who've been before you. And they are there as a resource for you because they're that 12 months, 24 months, 2 years ahead of implementing the reach process, and they're there as a sounding board for you too. So I want you to go ahead and apply. If anything I said here today speaks to you, go ahead and apply. It's a simple form that asks you a few questions. And then at the end of the form, there's a calendar where you can pick a date and time where we can have a chat. It's only about 15 minutes and it's not a sales call. We go through your application, you explain things to me, you tell me what your goals are, you tell me why you think that this might be a good idea for you, and then we decide. And then from there, you can work out if you're paying monthly or annually, and the rest of the details can happen. But this is for you if you have been in business for a few years and you're just scratching the surface of what there is for you. This is for you, and I'll make this bigger so that you can see it. If there are way more things that you know that you want to achieve, this is for you if you kind of know what you want. It's pretty clear, but it's always just that you just miss it, just outside of your reach. It's also for you if you just can't get the time to focus. No matter how hard you try, you just can't make the time here. You know you need to get away. And if you want that renewed energy in your business, if you're tired, if you're burnt out, if you're exhausted, if you feel like you're on a treadmill, if you wake up and go, gah, then you want to come along. This is also for you if you want a healthy, sustainable income, and if you want to fall back in love with your business and get away from the weeds. We like to call it the weeds, like get out of the weeds. Hello, Felicity Brown. She says, surrounding ourselves with like-minded is so important. Not everyone gets us. I too am passionate about this. Yes, this was a powerful time for me. Oh, who's that? Someone's saying it was a powerful time for them. Yeah. So if you are even getting a little bit of a twinge saying, oh my gosh, this all sounds so good, it isn't too good to be true. We actually have a money back guarantee, and you'll hear about that in just a moment. Well, here's what we've built into the week for you. 1, you get 5 full-day trainings, which would normally be $2,000 at least each, with 4 mentors. 5 nights luxury accommodation, all your meals and your refreshments, all the surprise fun activities, daily oceanside yoga sessions, journaling sessions with me, as I mentioned, special gifts, the online community, and we do a pre-event training with all the women who are coming along so that you're all up to speed so you can hit the ground running. And that's over $28,300 in value, but it's not going to cost you that. I'll tell you what it is in just a moment. Plus, there's a money-back guarantee because I am all about making sure that it's risk-free for you, right? I don't want you to have to worry about it. And so you come along, and if it's not the right program for you, we give you your money back. Now, when you apply by the end of today, you save $2,000. You lock that saving in. You don't need to pay anything today. You don't need to do anything today other than apply and choose a date and time to meet with me. And it'll be sometime over the next 2 weeks. just have a look at the calendar and let me know what time works for you. But you lock that saving in. Now, if you're not a member of the Her Business Network, that saving is for members. So just join. It's a very simple process for you to actually lock in that saving. So just let my team know. We are going to be there from the 30th of October to the 3rd of November. I'm very, very excited. I know who's coming along. And so I know how much you're going to love meeting them. The diversity in the industries, the heart that these women have, the commitment that they have to themselves. And here's what I know happens every single time. And this will be our 5th program, the commitment that they have to each other. Like you can see these beautiful faces. This was actually on the first night we have cocktails out by the rocks. And this was the first retreat, the first night. And you can see what a little group we had at that time. It's still an intimate program. And it is a curated program. I want to make sure that everyone there is there for the right reasons, that they're there for the right outcomes, that I know that my mentors and I can deliver those outcomes. And the mentors, as I said, they are incredible. They are masters in their own areas. They give very generously of their time to be at this retreat and to give to you, and not just to pop in and do their presentation and pop out, but to be there from the very start to they're the last ones there, right? As we pack up with my team on the last day, being there available to support you. So you get this immersed experience in being with these incredible mentors. Go ahead and apply before midnight tonight if you want to lock in those savings. And I want to thank you so much for joining me here at this program this week. I love talking about the Reach Retreat. I love talking about the Reach process. Is such a powerful process. And I can tell you pretty much every day I dive into one of those parts of the process that I'm needing to look at. And so week after next, I'm going to the US. I know I'm very much going to be in that reflect and envision stage, because it's just where I am in my life right now. I'm taking stock of, what I want the next year to look like and what I want next. And so I'll be working in those. But other times I'm right there in actualize. I'm right there working the plan. And other times it's like, okay, reconnecting to the people and resources that I need to be connected to realize that new vision, and disconnecting from parts of me that no longer serve me, reconnecting from connections that just don't work, reconnecting, disconnecting from ideas that no longer serve me. And then right there, heroing. And for me, heroing, I'm a much better hero of others than I ever of myself. And maybe you're like me. And so for me, surrounding myself with the right people again and again and again is such an important part of realizing the business and the life that I want, is to surround myself with the peers and the mentors and the friends and the ideas and the connections that really fuel me in my business. You're amazing. Thank you so much for what you do. I wish you the very, very best. I hope to see you at the Reach Retreat. And if you have any questions at all, if you're sitting on the fence, just go ahead and apply, or go to the information page and you'll see that link here. There's a live chat. Just go ahead and ask. We're there right now to answer any questions. So if you're sitting on the fence, being on the fence is really uncomfortable. So you want to get off the fence. And if you think, well, this is speaking to me, I don't know how I'm going to make it happen, but I'm willing to figure it out. Here's what I know, that we will find the time, we will find the money. We just have to have the conviction. We have to have that clarity that this is what we want, and we will get there. And like I said, we have payment terms if you would like to pay it off between now and October. I know you'll be very motivated to do that, so that you can show up knowing I did it and I'm here and I'm so ready for my next leap. Thank you so much. And here's to reaching up and reaching our goals and dreams, all of us, every single one of us. Thank you so much. Bye for now.